Oh, here we go.
Well,
we're back at the Eintracht Club. Hal and Rose North invited us back because of more activity. We're here with Laura. The rest of the group are either under the weather or out of town, but we're here with Hal, he's here somewhere, and Rose North. But we're going to see what we can find out here. We got our tools and we're going to go through and see what's happening with the spirits here back here at the Eintracht. So stick with us, see what we can turn up. And here is Hal. He's with us. You remember him. And here is his wife Rose, and we are going back into the Eintracht to see what's going on here.
So you've been here before?
Many times.
Oh, really? And there's still activity going on? Or?
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, let's go back in.
Am I going?
Rose has something.
Yeah, he had one 2 weeks ago Saturday. He was sitting here by himself, and Frida and I had taken some cabbage down to the church because we don't have room here for the cabbage rolls. And he was sitting here and he heard the cooler door open and close. So when I come, he says, "I think you should go open the cooler door and close it. I think there might be a problem back there." I says, "Okay, whatever." So I go back there, I open the door and I close it. I says, "It opened and closed fine." He says, "Well, that was the noise I heard."
How old is this building?
It was built in
46.
This was built in 46, but they were a German family of maybe 5 families that lived out here. There were like 4 or 5 houses out here back in the 1800s.
There were 3 houses in the river back there. But
And so was this the main house?
No, this was, I think they might have had a couple of small houses here and a couple down on the bank and some over here. But this was built in 1933.
Okay.
So it was 1933 that they
Well, that
laid
was
the
the beer-
foundation for this.
The beer garden, which became a caretaker's cottage.
Yeah.
That's when that was built. But this structure here was built in 36.
Yeah.
But just the lower,
Yeah,
not the upper.
and then about 10 years later that they decided to build the upstairs.
the ballroom.
The ballroom.
So what happened to everybody? Like, did the families move? Did they die in here?
Well, they all passed away, and they owned a lot of land here in this area. And as they passed away, they donated some of the land, and they had a family cemetery out here. So back in the 1800s, everybody had their family plot. You know, they had 6 houses, a graveyard. So there's about probably 26 or 27 graves out there now. You know, and one of the gentlemen buried out there, he was in the American Revolution War.
Really?
Yeah, so he's out there, and they have some children, and it's just family, and they have one grandniece that's still living, in Huber Heights. She belongs to the Huber Heights Historic Society.
I heard previous stuff out there.
You know, and yeah, so, but they've been activities off and on here, and then he had an experience a couple of weeks ago here with a friend that passed about.
Well, that's when
4 years
Patrick
ago.
was here with me.
No, that wasn't. That was when Gertie came that night when Eileen called. Remember?
Oh, that?
Yeah,
Oh, I
that.
forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was strange.
Yeah.
That was strange.
Yeah, because we've never had any activity down here. It's always been upstairs.
Really?
Yeah.
But tell her what happened there.
That we know that we have a friend, her name was Gert Watson. She passed about 4 years ago, and we were over here working, and he'd come and hang out with me, and he said, well, if there's anybody down here, make her phone ring.
And did it?
Yes, it rang.
How about that?
And it was Gert's daughter. I says, I don't have time to talk to Eileen. I don't have time to listen to her problems today. I'll call her later. It's okay. So Hal kept talking, you know, and he had no idea who it was, you know. So I says, well, why don't you go over to the bar and see if you can get more activity. So he goes over to the bar, and then the light started flashing. It flashed twice. The phone rang, and it was her daughter. I says, well, I guess I better talk to you. Your mother's here.
I have a flashlight. And when there's a spirit, we ask them to contact us. If they contact us, the light starts blinking.
Does it really?
Yes.
Yeah.
And so that's happened, or it happened with Patrick and I, he saw it. Well, that day I never used it down here. But I had it with me, I was gonna go upstairs. But I just had it with me and laying on the table because nothing ever happened here. All of a sudden, the flashlight started blinking.
Yeah.
Well, it turned out to be,
Gertrude Watson, because we kept asking questions, and you blink 2, blink 3, blink 1, and she was answering all of our commands
With the blinks.
with the blinks. Yeah.
Did you ask her why she's here?
No. We asked her, was she alone, and she said no.
we can only get yes and no answers from.
I see,
with-
I
Yeah,
see.
through the
yeah,
blinking
with
light.
blinks. Now, years ago, we had a Cinco de Mayo night here, and Janice was bartending, and her mother went to the bathroom, and she came back, and she's at the bar, and she says, well, Mom, what would you like to have to drink? Would you like for me to make you a margarita? She says, no, why don't you help the lady next to me? She's been here longer than I have. Janice says, Mom, there's no one there. Yeah, there is. She's about your height, and she has short, dark hair because she was in the bathroom with me.
So they just hang out. I mean, they just.
Oh, yeah. And then about a year ago, we came back from the International Festival. And Janice and I, it always happens when she and I are together for some reason. And her mom was here. She's in a wheelchair. We were sitting at the bar, you know. And it was like 8:15 on a Sunday evening. And we heard church bells chiming. And Janice says,
It's not time.
right. And Mrs. J says, where's the closest church? I says, well, St. Stephen's down on Troy Street, but you can't hear from up here. I says, and there's no national disaster, so there's no reason for the church bells to be tolling, you know. So Janice and I, we go outside, and we don't hear it outside. But while we're outside, Mrs. J hears it from the stairwell. It was coming from upstairs, you know. And so we came back in, and finally it quit. You know, it was just,
That's something.
Well, the same thing happened to me, similar thing. She was president and I was manager of the club.
Okay.
So every Sunday morning I would come over to make sure the bar was clean because Saturday nights we always had something going.
Right.
So I came over and I'm here. And as I looked up, and when I come, I always lock the door because I don't want somebody walking in for a
Right,
drink.
right.
I'm here to clean up. So I'm sitting behind the bar, and a gentleman walked out of the men's room back there in the corner, wearing gray hair, tall, wearing bib overalls. So I said, "Can I help you, sir?" So he walked around one of his pillars, never came out, just vanished.
No kidding.
So about a month or so later, I'm back there doing the same thing. I'm here this Sunday cleaning up. I came out of the bathroom, same gentleman standing at the bar.
Really?
I said, "Can I help you?" He looked around and that was it. He was gone, like that. That's the only time that I actually saw a figure. Everything else has been, well, I had a smoke figure. I was going upstairs to check the music room to the far back. And as I got to the top of the stairs, ready to go in the ballroom, I saw this smoke come off the stage. Just a cloud of smoke and drift into the music room. So I ran back.
Yeah.
Of course,
There's no
flipped on
fire.
the light and that's it. But the police, I love this story.
The police, I had a habit of Halloween hanging a ghost across the bar,
Oh, dear.
well, not realizing that the security light was above it. So any movement, when the furnace would come on, it would move my little napkin ghost and it set the alarm off.
Uh-oh.
So Bill had to come over here and the police came and their dogs and everything. And it's just my napkin ghost. So the one lady officer was going up the back steps and she came back downstairs and Bill said, "What did you encounter?" Someone just blew in my ear as I went up the steps.
Oh, okay. So you
Scared the
got
officer
playful
to
ghosts.
death.
Okay.
Scared the officer
Yeah.
to death.
The other night, there were two lady officers came in after the alarm went off. One was down here. Every time the alarm off, they come in, they have a dog with
Right,
music,
right.
and they have their guns drawn. Well, the one officer was, the lady standing here, the other one went up the stairs. And all of a sudden, they heard, "Stop, stop," and started running. The other officer heard her go, so she called for help, backup. Well, they went upstairs, there was nobody. So that was a thing that was in the police report.
Yeah, that there's something.
Well, somebody Patrick has that experience. He used to film our concerts all the time. He can't do it anymore.
Why?
You turn the camera off.
The kid turns the camera off.
Really?
Yes. Yes, he has a camera on the balcony and the camera down here, and it'll be working fine. When he leaves the balcony, comes down, it's out. When he starts recording, there so much reverb, he has to quit recording. It's a little kid that drowned back in probably the 1850s or something in the river out there. He's about 7 or 8 years old, and we think it's him, just playing, having fun.
Yeah, yeah.
We're not sure. But Patrick, he just, the last time was really a rough time for you, wasn't it?
Yeah, they turned the camera right beside me. I had both cameras.
Yeah, he turned both cameras off, the one on the balcony and the one beside
Well,
it.
turn the camera while you were filming
Yeah.
us down here.
Did you tell
Yeah.
him to stop? Did you say don't do that?
I think Angel tried to exercise him to get rid of him.
And he didn't go?
Um,
Really?
No, I don't think
evidently
he
not,
went,
because
no.
it kept happening.
Really?
Yeah.
But he turned the camera off right beside me, because I had both of them right beside me, turned them both off.
So my kid, this is technology. Oh, we didn't have these back when I was a kid.
No, of course not, right. Oh,
Wow, this
wow.
is fun. New toy.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Patrick, for coming over and playing with me tonight.
Yeah. So they're actually playful.
They did the same thing with the cameras from Channel 22.
Yes.
Played with them.
Yeah,
also.
same thing with them too, yeah.
Oh, you're kidding.
Yeah.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
Yeah, they taped a Riverside sex offender seminar, something here, perverts or whatever, heroin addicts, and they were back there in the back. And when Laura got back to the studio, she only had half of what she recorded.
Yeah.
But we never did tell them why she didn't have it. She just thought it was her camera. I wasn't about to tell her.
We've had reports from so many people that have come here, and the people that come here connected with the beer cans. Was that them?
Yeah.
Well, so they went to stay overnight. So one guy decided he would stay upstairs with a sleeping bag,
Ooh.
and he came running down later, and he said, "Who was the guy up there?"
Oh, wow.
He saw a man up there. So that's our guest spirit.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
So he came running down. But we've had other people like that do the same thing. And almost everybody that comes here,
Has an
sooner or later, they have some kind
Sooner
of-
or later, yeah.
So really, the spirits, you're just like,
They're transit, I think.
oh, you think they're just passing
Yeah.
through?
Yeah, because we had Pearl here out of Columbus, the paranormal group up
Well,
there.
that was after it is.
And they taped it, and they come late, they come like at 9 o'clock at night, and it would be 3:30 or 4 before they would leave. And he says most of the activity upstairs started around 11:30, 12 o'clock at night, and they would be dancing all night long.
Oh,
And
nice.
they were dressed in period clothes like they had in the 1800s, but they were dancing. So they come out late at night, and they just party.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I worked weddings here, and we would close up, and we'd sit down, and for a few minutes, we would hear people walking up there, because they would walk from the bar over to the window.
Well, then we had a voice too that was taped by Pearl.
Pearl, yeah.
They had their technicians down here, and I don't know where you were, upstairs or
I was outside.
outside. So anyway, they turned the light out in here and walked back here, and some voice said, "Turn that light off," real gruff.
Oh,
It
really?
was a
There was
woman's
no one
voice.
here. It was a woman's voice. It was no one
Sounded
here.
like my mother, because it was about 4 months after she passed.
Really?
It sounds just like my mother's voice, but
Now that's on
A lot of
tape.
people say they don't.
They taped that.
that was the, yeah. And then the second time they were here, the one kid is Jewish, and he was on the balcony trying to get them riled up at the bar, because he knew they were behind the bar and they were drinking, and there was an old gentleman at the end of the bar, at the far end, and he was talking German. So the paranormal guy on the balcony started talking Yiddish.
Right.
Yiddish and German is almost the same, you know, and the gentleman at the bar started cursing him in Yiddish. You know, so like, okay, you know, so he got him riled up, he got him really angry,
Yeah.
you know, so those were, you know,
Wow.
it's okay.
From when you first noticed this, a few years ago, right?
Yeah.
Has it gotten to be more incidents? I don't want to say it has gotten worse, but has it gotten where there's more frequency? Is it more frequent
We
now?
are, there for a while, I didn't come over here for 6 or 7 months, and I sort of lost contact with my
Yeah.
buddies.
Okay.
And now that I'm starting to come over here and start cooking for the festivals and things, then I seem to see more activity.
Really?
Yeah.
And everybody hears activity,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
from upstairs.
And about 25 years ago, Sarah Sliger and Lloyd, she was a librarian who was a caretaker, and they were leaving one Friday night after course practice. And she got in the car and she said, "Lloyd, you did not turn the music room light out. You need to go upstairs and turn it out."
But he did.
He did, and the light was already out. And another time when they were leaving, there was a couple sitting looking out the window, like 11 o'clock at night.
Oh, like, bye.
Yeah, because at that time we didn't have shutters and we didn't have curtains, it was just plain windows, you know. But they've been here for a long time.
Do they ever follow you home?
No.
No. So they
There's never
just
been
stay
any
here.
evil activity, anything that suggests evil
Or
intent.
darkness.
And then one time when my mom and I were out here cooking for the festivals, we went outside and she seen a red car pull from the field and go down the lot, and then it just disappeared.
Even a car?
Yeah,
Okay.
you know, and probably 10 or 15 years before that, Hal was manager, and I wasn't working at the time, and I was over here hanging out, and there was a blue T-Bird pulled around, and there was a little scrubby looking guy, he looked like a little trailer trash redneck guy, you know, and he says, "I need to talk to the manager." I says, "Well, I'll go in and get the manager, and I'll bring him out, and you can talk to him, or you can come in." "No, I'll wait." So I came in, the car was gone, we didn't even hear it move. Just a residual, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. And then one night, he was still working at the Dayton Racquet Club, and I came over after work one night, and my cousin owns Fan and Cab Company from Fairborn years and years ago. One of his cabbies brought me over here and dropped me off, and I locked myself in. I figured, I got to go to the bathroom before Hal comes, because I got to open the door at 11:30. Well, I'm on the john back there, and it's like, car pulls around and stops. Oh, well, okay, so I get up, and it's like, there's no car. But I haven't been here late at night to hear my cars count anymore, so my schedule's changed here
Yeah.
over the years.
Wow.
And then one Sunday afternoon, I was over here by myself, and I called him. I said, they're walking around upstairs. I have no idea what's going on, but it's very active up there. And I've been up there twice, and there's nothing up there. He says, well, I'll come over. That was when we had 2 cars before he couldn't drive anymore a couple of months ago. And they stopped when he got here. It's like, okay, we've aggravated her enough.
Yeah, they're just toying with you. Isn't
Yeah, they
it?
are, just like with his cameras.
Another Sunday morning when I came over again, I came in, locked the door, and I'm behind the bar, and hear singing, beautiful chorus singing. And I couldn't tell whether it was English or German, but they were singing. And it was one beautiful tenor voice. So I thought, well, you know, I opened the door and I went outside. I thought, there's got to be a church nearby. There was nothing. So I came back in. The singing started again. So I went up through that door, went upstairs. Nothing. I came back down. The singing started again. So I went up this door. Singing stopped. Came back down. It started again.
Oh, wow.
So I didn't know what to make of it. So a little while later, a couple of weeks or so later, I'm tending bar. And there's 2 or 3 guys that are sitting here. And the one guy starts talking, and I said, I told him about this. I heard somebody singing. And I said, this one beautiful tenor voice. The other guy said, that might have been so-and-so. He had the most beautiful tenor voice. He was a man in the choir here. He was a tenor in our choir. And he died several years ago.
Oh, so he just felt like
So this is the kind of thing that happens.
Yeah.
You get these stories from
Yeah.
different people. You know, and they're all from very, you know, a variety of people, not just, it's
Yeah.
not just,
Isn't that something? Maybe they just, I don't know, maybe, well, for any reason that people join clubs, for the camaraderie and the common interest, we'll
Yeah.
say, the music, and that maybe they just figured that they're just,
yeah. Well, then,
they're part of the group, and they don't know that they're not alive.
the most weirdest thing, I think, that we've happened, and who was with you when you were here? The psychic.
Angel.
Angel was here.
She was upstairs, and she was hitting things right and left. So then she said, as she's ready to go out the door, we have a balcony, a loft. And she said, a lot of activity up there. I said, really? She said, yeah, there's something going on up there. I said, oh, we don't use that. We never, that's all this storage. She said, no, there's people up there. They're doing something. I said, like a party or something? I said, no, never. I said, yeah, there's something going on up there. I said, it's strictly for storage. We have never used it for anything, except we have a cot up there. Sometimes I might take a nap. Another guy might work here and take a nap. She said, a lot of activity up there. Couldn't be. She insisted. She said, I'm sorry, but there is. So I don't know who reminded me, or it just occurred to
It
me.
must have come to you because I wasn't here.
Just occurred to me that years ago, New Year's Eve party, they decided to have a stag party, and all the guys would go up in the balcony and put women's clothes on.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
And he was Father Time with a mop head on his head.
gee whiz.
And then the baby, the new baby was, we had one of those paper tablecloths with duct taped him up, you know, so that's what she's seen.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
Father
Judy.
Time and,
Yeah.
yeah. But,
My goodness.
yeah, no,
You were here
They're
when
friendly.
she told us that.
they're friendly.
Yeah, they're very friendly. And well, then, the one, and here again, was it Angel that told me? A very dear friend of ours, Karen, she died. And I used the flashlight thing shortly after, well, about a year after she died, wasn't it?
Something like that.
So anyway, I used the flashlight and she came through. Well, I assumed it was her because I kept saying, I'd say, well, could you be this? I named all the people I could think of that died. Well, her name came up, the flashlight blinked. I called Rose up. For half an hour, we had a conversation between questions and flashlight blinking.
Right, and
So then later, Angel told us that Karen wants to be freed. She wants to be released.
really?
That she felt that emotionally she was trapped because of our contact with her. I never heard of that.
So
I never
she
heard of that.
really
Well, her
wanted
mom,
to go
she
to
was
the actual
she was
life.
treasurer and the singer, and she spent most of her life over here. And her dad helped rebuild the club when when the fire, when it was burned.
Okay.
And she and her mom, she spent a lot of time and a lot of money here. So this was home to her. When she died, she just came back here.
Right.
Yeah.
So then Ada said that since I was in contact with her,
Right.
that it would be up to me to say to her,
Go.
go, you're
Yeah,
free.
just go. Yeah.
That, because of that attachment.
Yeah.
I never understood that, but
And did you tell her to go?
yeah.
Did she come back
And that
ever?
was the end of
Interesting.
She's
So
never
they-
contacted us at all.
Right. So
But
they.
that little boy, we gotta get rid of him so Patrick can start recording again.
yeah. So then,
Wow.
I never heard of that.
Well, sometimes, I don't know that much, but I've heard that they come back and they wander and they interact because they're restless. Some of them don't know they're dead, and they think they're just doing what they're doing. And unless somebody says, you're not alive, go away or go, they will not go, and they want to. Sometimes they're unhappy, because I had a friend whose father, she actually, it's a whole long story about the father. Long story short, he died in the military. He was a naval officer. And he would come to the foot of her bed every night, and she'd say, "What are you doing?" And he'd stand there and he'd disappear, stand there, disappear. So finally one day she sat up, because I told her that. I said, "You have to tell him you're okay, Gail, and just go." So my friend is a little abrupt. She's not soft-spoken. So she sat up in bed one night that he was there, and she looked and she said, "Just go away." He never came back.
Yeah.
And her, the bed didn't fall out of a window. Nothing
Yeah.
vengeful happened, but she just said, "Go away." So then again, sometimes you feel when that people that you were involved with and that you love, you don't want to be harsh and say, "Just go."
Yeah.
But they have to know that you're okay with it. Isn't that something?
Since he was military, he probably expected her to do something like that.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she is a little
Yeah.
tough, and he
Yeah,
was
and
tough.
he made her tough.
Yeah,
So
so it was
that's my girl.
yeah,
Yeah.
go away. Never came back, never
That
thing.
was good.
Yeah.
But Gert Watson, she's been dead for 4 years, and this is the first time we've ever had any contact with her, which I thought was odd.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
waited 4
Her
years.
daughter, but her daughter.
But her
came
daughter's
over.
active here. She helps me cook,
Her
and
daughter-
she's on the board,
But
you
see,
know.
her daughter phoned that night, and it seemed as though the spirit knew she was,
Right. on
that
the
would be the
phone.
time to make a connection.
Right.
Yeah.
That's when the flashlight
Really?
went on.
Yeah.
You know.
Wow. I wonder if you could have a spirit party and say, "This is your going away party." This is your bon voyage. Like,
That's right.
You float on out of here. I don't, none of you are really here. Go, 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 go. I don't know,
I had the flashlight on just in case.
Yeah, there's probably, we're gonna hear
Did you
somebody
want to see
say,
the ballroom?
Yeah, where was your last incident? I brought my,
Well, he had, the gentleman died New Year's Day, and we
When
had
you
a
were not
wake
with
for him a week later. That was Carl Zahn, and he had an hour conversation with him upstairs.
Well, Pat.
That's when we-
Yeah, you guys were
Yeah, we
together
were
that
together.
night.
Yeah,
That's
but-
right, yes.
but when with the
Zahn.
door closed, you were telling me about on the
Oh,
phone.
in the cooler in the back room.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
Yeah, I went
a couple
to
weeks ago.
He wants to go back there.
Oh,
Patrick
yeah.
does, yeah.
catch this.
okay.
I want to see what I can get back there.
We're getting ready to make sauerkraut and pork and cabbage rolls for the Dayton Art Institute Oktoberfest.
Oh,
This
that's
is where you get all
fun.
these roasters and foods out.
Can I just leave my purse over there?
Sure,
already
mine's over
recorded.
here. Yeah,
I'm recording.
you're good.
Either that or
That's what you heard.
I think it was, that was louder. I think it was that I heard. But it's hard to, but they both have the same sound. That's what I heard. That's the only kind of sound that might be possible.
Mm-mm.
That's the machine we can see. It's cold tonight. Nothing's happening.
Years ago, a woman died. She came out of the, she had a stroke, came out of the ladies' room.
Really?
Ever since, there has been people who say they hear the sounds from the ladies' room.
But
And
they
I've
never
seen-
picked up anything.
Uh,
She came to the bar with Mrs. J one
Yeah.
night,
Yeah.
but they've never picked up anything back there, and I don't think you
Ladies' room.
have. Yeah, I don't think you have either.
Let's try ladies' room.
Yeah.
That's it.
You know where they're gonna install the guy put the tree down.
Nope.
Nothing.
Yeah, cool in here.
You bet.
Nothing happening.
Cold, cold, cold. Yeah. Well, it's only Thursday.
Cool tonight.
Maybe they're resting up because they're going to be here on the weekend partying. Just a thought.
Plus, I always wonder, where do they go when they're not here?
That's a good question. Will they take off in the cars that disappear?
You know,
The red and the blue car.
another dimension.
We kind of think that there could be a portal.
Yeah,
That they come and go, that they are not resident here, but they're just passing through. And they had such love, this club had such a unity. In fact, the name of the club is Unity. Eintracht. Means one for all, unity. And everybody worked together. They worked together, they sang together, there's a lot
Right.
of emotion. And I think if you're attached to that kind of emotion, you would want to come back and visit, at least. I don't think that, we have no signs that maybe they live here constantly.
Right,
That's
but
it,
they
that's
just
right.
come and go. Well, it could be a portal. Remember, Suzanne's house was a portal.
Yeah. Portal, speaking of portal, that place upstairs,
Yeah, you want to go upstairs?
that's especially that balcony. That's a long climb. Spot.
I've had it. This is your
Ballroom.
theater and ballroom.
And that's the balcony up there.
Where the activity was, it shouldn't have been. Nope.
Switch box. Up here. Angels is she?
She's,
This one right here. Is this where? This is where it kept turning my cameras off.
really?
Yeah. Yeah, the camera up here kept turning off.
But he's not here now. Maybe he's doing his homework.
So I especially expect to find something here. That's surprising. Really surprising. Nothing. No, nothing. Okay. That really surprised me not to find anything up there. That really surprised me not to find anything up there. Okay.
This is the flashlight I use. And I just usually just let it sit on the table and talk to it. Ask him if there's any.
Yeah, that's where we had the conversation with your friend.
Yeah.
We got that 90-minute conversation.
Just keep asking questions and keep explaining.
Yeah.
Sometimes, if it's a strong answer, like a very emphatic answer, it will go on real bright and stay on.
And stay on. Yeah, that makes
Otherwise,
sense.
it'll just blank. Sometimes it may be weak, but every once in a while, when I feel like the question I asked was,
Right.
yeah, I didn't take one way or the other, but if they figured that the answer was very strong, they were very emphatic about that.
It's amazing.
And that's been all I've been using.
That is unbelievable. Does he have nothing?
And usually what I do is I start naming people that I know that I have worked with. and been very
Right.
Close to.
Okay.
And naming all of them. Now, the last one that crossed over that I knew very closely, we were very, very close friends, was Carl Zahn. And that Carl Zahn is the one that 2 weeks after his wake, Patrick and I came up here. And wow, the minute I came into the room, it went on. He didn't even wait for me to ask a question.
Do you
I
think,
came in, I said,
and you haven't heard from him or talked to him
not
since?
since, no.
Maybe he did then move through and go on.
You know that guy. The minute I came in, it went on before I asked a question.
Huh.
I think, then I said, Carl, are you here? Carl? So I'm hoping to hear from Carl Zahn. Very good friend of mine.
He was recently dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe 2 weeks.
You know.
Wow.
And the light just went on. That amazed me. That response so quickly without even asking.
Now, some people have seen, like the one guy that went up there saw a guy upstairs. So other people have seen these people. Have other people been able to communicate, initiate communication the way you have? Could you have some kind of sensitivity or be in tune that in your past experience, do you know, or has it only been evolving here? What I'm saying is, like, when you were a little boy, could you, like, have a match and say, if your grandmother had passed, hey, Nan, can you light this? Have you always had that, I'll say sensitivity, or is it just here with the former members or the fraternity that you have? You've always been able to reach out?
Well, when we talk about that little boy, we have no idea who that was.
Right.
Except we know that there was a boy that drowned in the river out here. And we're not sure if it belonged to the German family that lived here, or if it was
Somebody going
son,
through,
a
right.
little boy from one of our members from that time. But it was quite a while back. But anyway, Angel had said he's a little imp. He's very. She characterized him as a little devil, a little not evil, but
Yeah, mischievous.
play pranks on people.
Yeah.
And that's how it would seem like with what he did turning off the camera.
Yeah.
But just playing pranks. But I was hoping we might get a contact
Yeah.
tonight. And Carl, if you're here, or any spirit that might be here, we'd like to hear from you. We have the flashlight here. All you have to do is use your energy to turn it on, or physically turn the head on, and it will go on. Or just make it blink. And let us know you're here. We have some guests with us, so we'd like to communicate with you. Usually the happenings around here that people report is usually after 8 o'clock, from 8 o'clock on. That's the time that they start working downstairs. There's more people here in the kitchen. And, but there's no crowd of people, it's workers in the kitchen. And that's when you hear all this things going on up here. Like it sounds like stools being moved around, or
Right.
feet shuffling. We'd like to have an answer from some spirit using that flashlight. Don't make a liar out of it. Well, you saw it.
Yeah, you've experienced before.
Well, I got the program on YouTube.
Huh?
I got the program on YouTube.
Did you? Yeah, that was great that it happened, for both of us together.
And we got it recorded.
Great, that's great. I got this idea from the ghost, the ghost hunters on TV. They used a flashlight. In fact, they were on at the hotel at the airport.
Yeah.
And they had quite a lot of activity for them.
I think we're going to be quiet tonight.
Yeah.
What is that noise? What is
The
that
noise.
thumping noise I keep hearing?
Oh, well, that's another thing. We're used to the noises that are common around here. Like, for instance, there are bats, and they
Oh, really?
around in the eaves, birds in the eaves. There are creaking, because it's an old, especially this dance floor. When you walk in the dance floor, you can hear the creaks. But we're used to that. I hear that pretty much. But especially at certain spots.
I hear it.
Things like that. But the apparition that I saw was looked like smoke.
Right.
The lights were out, but there's a left light coming through,
The
ambient light
exit
from the
signs.
outside through
Yeah.
those. And it was about 8 o'clock at night, and the exit lights showed, they have a glow. And so it wasn't completely dark in there. So I came in the door, and I went to go to the music room back there. As I'm approaching, I see the smoke. And actually, at first I thought, gee, it might be fire, but it looked like fog, really. And it drifted off the stage, curled around and went to the music room. And that's where I made a run. I could run then. I ran to the music room and flicked on the lights.
Nothing there.
Nothing. And there's no way for him to get out.
we're just quiet this evening.
Yep. I think so,
Yeah,
yeah. Do you have the camera?
we'll have to try again. See, like that thumping. Like that thumping was heard. That.
Nothing.
When we're quiet, we don't hear anything. Only when we're talking.
Yeah. Maybe they think we won't notice it when we're
The
talking.
lady officer came up the stairs there, and that's, but she saw somebody running. She chased him with music. But there was no one there.
Okay, so let's call it an evening here.
Okay.